Hello dear students, welcome to the new chapter that is a research report. This is the first lecture of the research report. In this lecture, we are going to discuss what you mean by the term is a research report and what are the characteristics of your research report, what are the qualities for the report and the types of the research report. Okay, these are the important contents of this chapter. First lecture. This is the first lecture regarding your the research report. So we are already familiar the term is the research. And this lecture we are detail analyzing the concept of the research report. Okay, what do you mean by the term is your the research report? And what is the research? The research means it's like a scientific process finding solution to the certain problem. The term is known as your the research report. Okay, sorry, that is a research. The research report means you are communicating your idea with your general people. That means you are finding a lot of the things through your research and you are communicating your the idea through the relevant people. The team is known as your the research report. That is the writing of your the report. That means writing of your the thesis and you are ready to communicate your ideas, your own findings with your general public. The team is known as your the report writing. As a research point of view, the one of the important element is the report writing. A research report is a medium to communicate your the research work with your the relevant people. That means require a lot of the knowledge, then imaginations, experience, expertise. The research reports are purely focusing on the major element is the one is the knowledge of the researcher. You are communicating your knowledge with your general public. And imaginations. The imagination is one of the important elements of the research. The researcher is always imagining and finding a lot of things ready to communicate with your the general public. So there is a lot of imaginations. And there is an experience. The experience he faced, the experience he's come across. That is one of the important elements. That's your sharing experience with your the general public. Then expertise, he or she may be the expertise in that field. So the term is known as your the report writing. Writing a research report is a research was not written up. It was not written up. It does really occur. That means it's not a simple writing. The research means not only a simple writing. That means it is the communicating your the idea. That's you are communicating with the research work with your the relevant people or general people. The term is known as your the report writing. So the research is like a scientific process for finding the solution to a certain problem. And your the research report, that means like a medium to communicate your the research work with your the relevant people. Okay, so as like a corona point of view, the lot of the studies are going on. That means regarding the medicine, and as after the research, we'll get the solution and must be familiarized. This communicate with your general public. So that is a report writing is an essential for the research. There is a communicating your an idea with your the general public. Okay, so that is one of the example regarding your the research report writing. And here we are discussing what are the important characteristics of your the research reports. Suppose you are writing a research report, and what are the major characteristics of the research report? Listen, the first important characteristic is the complete and compact document. That means suppose you are preparing research in a different way, and you must be communicate with your the complete and compact documents, the relevant documents, supportive documents, and compact idea. That is one of the important characteristics. It must be complete and compact document is necessary for communicating your the research report. So research report must be the complete and the compact documents, must influencing others for doing the same research or the relevant research. That's the first important characteristics, that is a complete and the compact documents. That's the first important characteristics of your the research report. And another one is systematic presentation of the fact and figures. That's another important element of your research. You must be systematically presenting your the fact and figures with your general public. So what is a relevant fact regarding your research? You must be communicated the entire element through the research report. So that's a systematic presentation of the fact. The research is like a scientific process, and we are collecting a lot of fact and figure point of the research, and the research report must be a systematic presentation of these facts. So that's another important characteristic of the research report, that systematic presentation of the fact. And third one is prepared in writing. It is a writing stage of the research. There's a different styles of writings are opted for the research report. The first draft, second draft, third draft, and it must be in the written format. The research report is always a written format. Must be in the written. It's a prepared in the writing form. That is another important characteristics. Suppose you're preparing the research report, it must be writing format. That is a written report. The written report is always essential for communicating the idea. So it's a prepared in writing form. Another one is provide the informations and the guidance. So that means providing the information. A good research report is providing the information, vital information with the public, or share the good information with the general public. So the providing the information is another essential element for the research report. And the guidance for the followers. That is another important characteristic, is the providing the informations and the guidance. And the self-explanatory document. A good research report is always self-explanatory. It must be understand one itself. That means suppose a reader is reading your research report, he must be that means the research report is self-explanatory format. He or she must be easily acquire the knowledge through the research report. So the self-explanatory document. The document, suppose you're writing figures, tables, all are the self-explanatory. It's always relating with the tables. Suppose you're framing the lot of the tables in your research report, and these tables are the self-explanatory format. That's another important characteristics, that is a self-explanatory documents. And another one is act as a tool for the tool of the internal communication. A good research report is like a tool for the internal communication, communicating an idea with the general public. Suppose you are the fellow workers, you are the gate. Suppose you are writing the research report with the guidance of the gate, you must be communicating this entire information with the gate through the writing format. So it's an act as a tool of internal communication. That's another important element of the research report. It's like an act as a tool of the internal communication. And another one is act as a permanent record. A report is always a permanent record. It's a writing format and also is a permanent record. It must be kept in the libraries or other relevant resources. So it's act as a permanent record. Suppose you are awarding the PhD, that is a proof is the record. And suppose the proof is the report. So it's an act as the permanent record. The research report must be the permanent format. That's a writing format and keep as a permanent record. That is another important characteristic of the research reports, act as a permanent record. And eighth one is a time consuming and costly activity. Sometimes the research report is not an easy task. It takes a lot of the times for writing of your report. So it's maybe 1 year or 2 years. It depends upon the work. So it's like a time consuming and the costly activity, because we use a lot of the technologies for the writing of the report. And current scenario, we are using the augmented reality, the artificial intelligence for writing of the report. So it is a time consuming and costly activity. Okay, these are the important characteristics of the research report. The first one is the complete and compact documents. The research report must be the complete and compact document, and is systematic presentation of the fact. You are systematically presenting the fact and figures, and prepared in the writing format. The research report is always prepared in the writing format, and provide the informations and the guidance and self-explanatory documents, and act as a tool of the internal communication, and act as a permanent record, a time consuming and a costly activity. These are the important characteristics of the research report. Okay, and after that, what the qualities for the good research report. Many of the researchers are focusing on the research report, and we're discussing what are important the qualities of the good research report. Suppose you're writing a good research report, and what are the qualities are required for the good report. And the first important quality is it's a written easy to understand. That means you must be use a simple vocabulary for communicating an idea. That's the first important qualities of the good research is written in easy format and understand the vocabulary. That means use a simple words, simple sentence for the communicating with an idea with the general public. That is the first important qualities required for the good research report. That is a written easy way. That means use simple vocabulary for communicating your the idea. That's the write up stage is one of the important element. Suppose the write up stage we must be use a simple vocabulary for communicating with the idea. That's the first important quality. That means it's a very easy and the simple words for communicating with the ideas. And second one is it must be clear. Short titles are used for the research problem. That means short titles is necessary for the research problem. It must be clear and the short title relate to the research problem. So suppose you are presenting the lot of the element, writing the lot of the elements, it must be clear and the short title relating with your research problem. It must be clear ideas. Researcher is always responsible to share the clear idea with clear idea for the general public. So must be the clear and short titles are relating with your the research problem. That is one of the important qualities, a clear and short titles. And another one is must be given a summary or abstract. An abstract is essential for the good research report. Suppose as an introduction page, a lot of the researchers are writing the abstract. The abstract is very important elements. What are the important elements of the research? What are the briefity of the research? Can be easily identified with the help of the abstract. So it must be clear, must be give the summary and abstract for you the good research. That means introductory page, that's the write up stage. We must give the abstract regarding your the research work. So that is one of the important element. That is your the abstract. And another one is your methodology section. Show how to research was carried out. That's a very important element of your the research report is the way methodology, the way you use your way you're conducting your study. That means sampling, the method of sampling, sample study, hypothesis, variables must be quoted here stage. So the good methodology and the good methodology must be attracted. So the researchers always think about how to write the good methodology, a methodology section to show how to research was carried out. So it's a good methodology is essential for the good report. And another one is it must have the discussion of the findings and the conclusion of the section. After the completing your the research chapter wise, this one of the important elements is the findings and the conclusion. It must be the good findings regarding the study and what are the conclusion and a essential recommendation to the policy makers. What you have given to the general public. What are the findings of your studies? What are the conclusion? And what are your recommendation on point of your the research? That is one of the important quality for your the research report. And sixth one is the report must be the legible. It must be the legible. That means as a good font type and the font size, good font size and the font. That means there must be the good font size is used for the communicating with an idea, like the Times Newman or the bold like the spacing. There is very important elements regarding the research report. That means the report is always legible. These are the important qualities required for the good research report. That must be the written and easy to understand. Use a simple vocabulary. And another one is the clear and short title relating to the research problem. It must be give the summary or the abstract. Use some good methodology and findings and the conclusion section, and the report must be legible. These are the qualities is required for the good research report. Okay, and after that what are the important types of the research reports. The report may be the different types, and we're discussing the different types of the report. The first category of the report is the formal and the informal report. What is the formal? The formal means always official. That means the well structured format. You have the report in the well structured format. The term is known as the formal report. There must be an objectives. It's always related to the organization studies. Suppose an organization is preparing a report, that must be formal report, because the report must be communicated with the general public. And suppose an organization body, the banks are publishing the final account at the time of the financial year. So these reports are formal because it must be communicated with the general public. This must be structured format. That's the first category of the report is the formal. And informal, that means it's like a short messages, like the natural casual use of the language. That means it's a personal communication. Sometimes the informal reports are suppose you're writing the messages as like a natural way. The term is known as the informal report. Suppose you're communicating with a friend through the informal report. So that is a example regarding the informal report. That means it's not always not structured format. It's not specifying the objectivity. That is one of the important types of the report. There is a formal and the informal report. The formal is always structured, and the informal is always like a natural communication and just use the casual languages. That is the informal report. And another one is a short and the long report. That's another important classification of the research report. There is a short and long. Short report means within the page. Sometimes they conclude like within the page. Long report is maybe the 10-20 pages. That's next. That is a part of the long report. Some reports are prepared in the short format. That is known as the short reports. A one-page memorandum is obviously as like a short. Suppose the organization preparing the memorandum within the one page, that is the short report. Suppose preparing the report within the 10 or 20 pages, it's like a clearly long. So that is the long report. But where there is a dividing this line, but in the mind that the report become longer, that's the question. It take the more characteristics of the formal report. Sometimes you have the formal reports in the short and the long way. Suppose the organization preparing the formal reports, some in the short or the long way format. So that's a short and the long. That's a one-page memorandum is known as a short report, and the more than 10-20 pages, it's known as the long report. That is the second classification of the research report, the short and the long reports. And third one is the informations or the analytical reports. This is a very important element. Information reports. Suppose the financial communicate. Suppose organizations are preparing the financial report, monthly report, quarterly report, record absenteeism. That's a part of the information reports. That's the informing these things within the organization. That is the information reports. An analytical report means like scientific point of view. Suppose ISRO is preparing report. That's an analytical report. And the feasibility report, real estate appraisals, these are part of the analytical report. That means it's mainly preparing to solve the particular problem. So that is the analytical point of view. That's known as your analytical report. One is the information and another one is analytical. The information means sharing the information. Suppose you're sharing the annual report, monthly report, and the personal records of the absentees. So that's a part of the informal report. Analytical report is quite different. That means it's like a scientific research, feasibility point of view. That's a part of the analytical report. Okay. There is another one is the proposal reports. There's a proposal. That means way you solve a certain problem. You give the certain proposal to solve the certain problems. Suppose there is a financial crisis in the Kerala. You can give the proposal report how to solve the financial issue. And currently there are a lot of the problems to the KSRTC. And you can give this proposal how to solve this problem. That is a part of the proposal report. The proposal is like a document prepared to describe how one organization can meet the needs of the another, and how you can solve the problems of the others. Suppose a current scenario, the lot of the problems are facing for the KSRTC, the issues related to the KSRTC, and how to solve this problem. You can give the proposal. That's the proposal report. That is an example regarding your the proposal report. And another one is your the vertical and the lateral report. The vertical lateral report is a very important element. So vertical point of view. That means it's a vertical means it's a like download. It's a upward, a downward way of the communicating your idea. That is a vertical report. And lateral report on other hand is assisting the coordinating of the organization within the organization. Suppose you want to coordinate suppose you're a manager, you want to coordinate the entire functions within an organization, you can prepare the lateral report. That means assisting the coordination in the organization. The lateral reports are mainly part of the coordination within the organization. Okay, that is the vertical and the lateral report. The vertical means it's the upward, downward, hierarchical format. That's the vertical record. Okay, and the sixth one is the internal and you are the external report. Internal point of view and external point of view. It's the internal or the external. Internal means within the organization. Suppose you're preparing the reports within the organization. The team is known as your internal report. What are the important example? Suppose that your organization is preparing the cash flow statements and the fund flow statement. As per the management account point of view, these informations are necessary for the organization. That's within the organization. That is a part of the internal report. An external report, such as mainly for the outsiders. These reports are prepared for the outsiders. Is a final account, is a part of the external report. That's the internal and the external reports. And the seventh one is a periodical report. Suppose you're preparing the report as like a different period. That means quarterly, annually, means biannually. That's a part of the periodical reports. And this generally directed severe management control, a pre-printed form of the computer generate data and contributing the uniformity of the periods. Suppose a quarterly result, that's a periodical report. The half yearly result, this is a part of the periodical report. So that is another important format, is a periodical report. And the last one is the functional report. That means it's a report related to the particular function, the marketing, finance, and production, HRM. Suppose you're preparing, suppose an organization, the marketing department is preparing their report, that's a marketing reports, and the financial reports is prepared to the finance department. There's like a variety of the functions within an organization, and these means functions are preparing a lot of the report that's known as the function report. So it's a market report, finance report, production report, are different areas relating with the organization. And these are the important reports of the organization. The first one, formal and the informal report, and short and long report, information and analytical report, the proposal report, vertical and lateral report, internal and the external report, periodical report, functional reports, and these are the different forms of the reports. Let me conclude. The first we discuss what we mean by the term is the research report or report writing. The report writing is like a medium to communicate the research work with the relevant people. The term is known as the report writing. A report writing is too much depends upon the knowledge, your imagination, your experience, and the expertise. And these are the characteristics of the research report. That is a complete and compact document. It's a systematic presentation, prepared in the writing, provide the information, a self-explanatory document, and act as a tool for the internal communication, and act as a permanent record and time-consuming and the costly activity. These are the important characteristics of the research report. And these are the qualities of the research report. It's like a simple language, clear, summary, methodology, findings, suggestions, and conclusion must be the legible. These are the qualities for the good research report. And these are types of report: formal, short, long, informal, information, analytical, proposal, vertical, lateral, internal, and external report, periodic report, the function report. These are the different forms of the reports are used for the organization, the different research point of view. Okay, these are the important elements of the first lecture, the meaning of the research report and qualities, characteristics, and types of the research report. Okay, anyway, thank you so much, and thank you for watching me.